Welcome to another episode of the Weeb Retreat podcast. We hope you enjoy your stay. We are the Weebs, your hosts. My name is James. This is Germs. How you doing today, Germs?
Doing good. Today was a very good day. A lot of the start of the season. Whew, starting off good, man. Starting off good.
Yes. And as always, we have a lot to talk about today. This is our first episode of the winter 2022 anime season. So nice to see you guys this year. And timestamps will be in the description below. You can use the slider. Our roundup is going to consist of Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, and My Dress Up Darling. Next week, we will have the fourth installment. And then we'll get into our winner of the week as usual. And then we have a discussion over last year's anime, kind of the Reddit rankings, where, the popularity versus what people really liked, going over all that good stuff to close out 2021 and put it in the past behind us for good. And with that, let's get on to the weekly roundup. I can't even believe I'm saying this right now. I can't even believe that these words are coming out of my mouth, but it's here. We're watching it. Attack on Titan, the final season, part 2. You hate that there's a part 1 and part 2 to the final season, but it's there. Episode 1. What did you make of this week's episode of Attack on Titan, Germs?
I started the episode, I blinked and then it was already over and I was like,
Same.
I was like, where'd it go? I was like, we're just starting, right? And no. It was already, I was at the ending, and I'm like, too good, man, too good. I was glued to the screen there. The world just went away, and it was just Attack on Titan. And I was right back in it. They went nice and fast, but like it just felt like I was kind of expecting this fast pickup here. We only have 10, 11, 12 episodes to go off of here, so they're just going right into it, giving it that spice. Tons of locations that we went to see, not just focusing on one spot and then that's it. Not just Eren, not just Zeke, not just Levi or whatever. We went just all around, but like in a nice good way, where it didn't feel like I was being whiplashed. It felt natural. So I'm so happy they did that so well. Overall, what do you think about it?
At this point, the story's too involved to just have one setting being shown to the audience. They have multiple bases to cover with where all the characters are at. Like you said, I thought it started off fast-paced, man. Levi. So, by the way, just for anyone tuning in for the first time, we're anime only, so we have no idea where this is all going to go, which makes this discussion even more fun, to be honest with you. So, starts off, and Levi is seemingly dead. Bold choice, but
there's a possibility, maybe, because
there's a possibility, and I'm thinking that in the back of my mind. A lot of times in anime, like, they don't actually kill off the people, but it's Attack on Titan. This is a epic fantasy. Like, it's we're in the final chapter here. It's very possible that he's dead, and if he is, I won't hate that decision. I think maybe they could have done it better. Maybe they could have made it a little bit more dramatic, but there's so much stuff going on with the story that I understand. It was certainly dramatic to start the episode and you see his face like that. You're like, oh shit. You know what I mean? It's like, that's okay. We're just starting there. We're off to that start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only thing that makes me question if he's alive, or maybe we can bring him back, is Armin. Remember Armin? We thought, I remember him being like a crispy chicken nugget,
he was fried.
He was basically so fried, and I was like, and he's back, and live. So maybe they're gonna give him the serum and make him one of the Titans if they can. Maybe we don't know. Oh my
gosh, maybe
that'd be spicy.
Maybe,
but
what's her face, Hanj, right? She takes him, and off in the river they go. They get shot at. Of course, none of the bullets land because that's just how stories go, and so. If she's taking him somewhere, does that mean that she'll recover him? I think I'd be led to believe that, but I don't know. I really don't know. There's so much stuff going on in the story.
That was just like the first few minutes,
Yeah, that was just the first few minutes. That's the thing, man. So either way, his sacrifice, his noble deed has been served. He was a great character while it lasted, So yeah, we have that. Then we get back to the battle, right? Eren battling.
No, there's Zeke. Remember Zeke?
Okay, so yeah, let's touch on that. Zeke comes out. He sucks all of like the moisture out of the sky, kind of like it's pouring rain, and then it just like opens up. The clouds open up, and he comes out, and oh, we got to talk. You're right. You're
Yeah,
definitely right. We got to talk about that because he had, while he was, I guess, rebuilding, he went to a different dimension, a different place, a
it
different
felt like eternity or
world.
something. He's like, oh, it's like
It
eternity, but it
felt,
was only a few seconds.
but it also felt like a few seconds too, right? And so we've seen all of the promotional pieces, right, of these sort of colors leading to this sort of
Looking
tree.
tree.
And dude, I swear, I'm not even just saying this. I was just about to say it reminds me of like an Yggdrasil tree from is that Norse mythology?
Hmm.
Literally, as you said it, I was about to say it reminds me of that. So, I assume that tree has some connection to all of the Titans and the what's the one Titan that gave them all the Titan powers and created this race of people, like Emir, I think its name was, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Listen, this is one thing I love about Attack on Titan. It's like it's like a Game of Thrones, man. It's like we have some fantastical backstory and hidden story elements here that we're still like we're on the final 11 episodes. We still haven't found out exactly what this all means, and I'm pumped. I like that they've kept us in the dark, showing us bits and pieces here. Like this episode, showing us little bits and pieces, but we still don't know what that exactly means. What do you think it means?
I don't know. It's a little hard. Maybe it's just like all of the powers of all the Titans. Maybe they all kind of go to this tree, and maybe they're trying to like stop the connections from the up to attack the Titans to the normal world or something. I don't know, because something weird happened. Because he was on Earth, and then
Yeah.
now he's in that. Maybe they're trying to cut the connection between the Titans and the normal people.
Well, he saw all those sort of lights in the sky, and he said, he questioned himself. He's like, "Oh, are those the paths?" So maybe every path is a Titan. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we're just kind
It's
of
hard,
freeballing
yeah.
it here, but that stuff, man, that whatever the hell that is, intrigues me. Whatever this demon-like creature that blessed them with the Titan powers and led to the Great Titan War, like that stuff really intrigues me, and so I hope Isayama really nails it here with the ending on giving us a fulfilling conclusion to whatever that is, So
Mhm.
so yeah, we have that. Then we meet up with Aaron, fighting off all of Marley, right? So you want to talk about that a little bit? Great fight scenes, huh?
Yeah, I was really surprised, and not surprised at the same time. Just like the devastation upon the city that happened. Like
Yeah,
people were like it was like flies just dying everywhere. You see
it
people
was a
just getting
superhero
shot up.
movie.
Like yeah,
It was a
people just getting
kaiju
shot up.
movie.
Like it was just wild, man. Like people were just fucking coming in, parachuting down. People were getting all types of people were just getting shot at, and it's like, oh my gosh, the streets were looking like just a bunch of, like a graveyard. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going hard right here on the massacre and devastation here.
Mhm.
I could really feel it.
Yeah, and yeah, like I said, it really reminded me. It is. I mean, it kind of is like a kaiju battle. Like a Godzilla type esque movie. You got these massive titans fighting. You got all the flyers. All the soldiers flying by with their gear. Just good old Attack on Titan stuff that we've come to know and expect. Aaron seems outnumbered at this point. He's kind of getting the shit kicked out of him.
Mhm.
He kind of, that one guy, the one, I think he was blonde. Like the blonde dude warned him. He's like, "Hey, let's retreat. You're not gonna make it." And Aaron's like, "Fuck that." He just marches him
Just starts
down.
walking.
Yeah, just starts walking. Like one of the most badass things ever. I honestly, I don't know how the fandom feels about him, about Aaron and his character, but I really like Aaron's character. I felt before this time skip, he was kind of a basic, bland, generic shonen-esque main character, but now he really has a purpose in his life. He has a cult following with him.
The Jaegerist.
The Jaegerist. He seems like he's got an ulterior motive, but he's also very smart with it. Kind of like a Light Yagami-esque character. Like he seems like he knows what he's doing, but maybe he's a little bit reckless. He's charging in there, getting the hell beat out of
We
him.
think we know what his goals are, but maybe his goals are slightly different, or
It's like
the
Zeke with me,
method.
dude. It's the same thing with Zeke. Like Zeke will talk about stuff, and and as I listen to Zeke's talk, every time I think to myself, "Is that really what you want to do?" Because I have no idea. It's like as an anime only, I'm like, I really wonder. Because Zeke seems smart too. He seems like a guy who might have ulterior motives as well. So we get a little bit of that, and then we transition to inside the building. You basically have the whole crew there. You want to talk about that scene a little bit? What'd you make of that dialogue between them?
Yeah, I think that was a pretty interesting one. I think it was Connie who was like, I've been betrayed by all my friends, or no, I don't think it was Connie because Connie is, I think, the bald one. It was the other one, one of
them.
those. Yeah, and he was like, I've
Yeah.
been betrayed by Aaron, betrayed by Okapun. I was like, I've been betrayed by everyone. I just want to, I heard what he wanted, but he was just like, I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of being betrayed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really
And
interesting one because it's true.
And then they eventually talked about everyone was questioning whether Aaron actually wants sort of the LDN population to not be able to repopulate. And Armin kind of asked everyone, he's like, would Aaron really, we're talking about Aaron here, guys, would Aaron really want to do that? And everyone's kind of like,
yeah,
he might. Yeah. It's not likely, but it's not unlikely. You know what I mean? So it's like, I thought that was really good. And yeah, like you said, man,
they're just not blindly following him or not blindly. They're just like, okay, could just like a normal life. It's like, I don't know, he probably will, but I know what I want. I they don't want it, but
yeah,
maybe he doesn't want it. Maybe.
Yeah, and like even Mikasa, right? They ask, you don't believe what Aaron said about you sort of blindly following your instincts, and she's like, well, I do have headaches, so even Mikasa, who is like Aaron's biggest cheerleader, she romantically loves Aaron and kind of cared after him. She saved his ass multiple times previously. Even she's like, I don't know, so yeah, like you said, man, they always go by quick. Just like the final season part 1. These episodes fly by. I feel like they're 5 minutes. Like I just watched a mini episode or something of an OVA series. Like this does not feel like a full length feature television series. It goes by so freaking quick. And another thing about Attack on Titan is a lot of times I'll be watching a show and I'm like, all right, what do we got?
Halfway, maybe?
Halfway? Okay. Attack on Titan is never that for me. I never see the scroll bar and think to myself, all right, 5 minutes and then we'll be done with this one. Never. With Attack on Titan, with the recent seasons, it's always like, fuck, we only have 10 minutes left. And then they go by in like 2 minutes and it's like, that's it?
Now we're with the ED. Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of them, yeah.
By the way, I was gonna wait till we're done with the content of the episode. Forget the ED, put that to the side a little bit. What did you make of that OP, my friend?
It hit right from the get-go for me, man. I was loving. I'm like, this should have been the OP last season. Last one took me so long. It took me so long to get used to. I loved last season at the end. Well, eventually, but
I was on the bandwagon.
The first listen.
Remember, I was on the bandwagon. I was like, Germs, you gotta like this, and it took you a few weeks to get onto it. Hey, you know what this OP reminds me of? And you'll know this one very.
Yeah, Death Note.
Is that exactly what you were thinking, dude? That's exactly what I was
thinking. And the visuals were so good, man. Like I'm like, these are the visuals I want to see. You saw all the different characters.
Oh,
Annie, Annie be coming back here.
And they had that sort of like Sakuga, like shadow figure to them, like the way they were drawn, very like intimately, like the animation on the OP was beautiful. So much action, like you could tell Mappa was like, all right, this is it. Time to give a good send off. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I loved it, man. I was loving it. The ED is a very weird feeling. It's like so happy and
I'll get used to it. Yeah, I'll get used to it, I think.
The visuals were good. It just felt so weird to listen to such a happy song. But, it's the end. So, hopefully there's hope at the end of the series here. But, man, that music, man, it was beautiful, beautiful, man.
Yeah. All right. So that's our first discussion in our first episode discussion for the roundup in 2022. And it's of Attack on Titan's final season, part 2, the first episode. If you guys are watching this, we know you are. Comment down below. Let us know, what did you make of this episode? And are you excited as we are? The guys and gals, the weebs out there, we'd love to hear from you guys. All right, let's get on to our second topic of discussion here on our weekly roundup. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Entertainment District arc. We're on episode 6 already. That's like halfway through, I think, right? So, what'd you make of this week's episode of Demon Slayer, my friend?
Whew, what a wild one, man. There was a lot of little things here. Like the Sakuga was up to 11 on this one. It was like fighting half the episode there. But there was some interesting little power-ups slash history between Tanjiro's dad,
Tanjiro and Rengoku's father, and then also Tanjiro's father as Muzan's memories, right? All right, before we delve into that though, let's get into it. So Tanjiro is fighting Daki. Hey, we finally remembered the name, right? We did our homework. And he's kind of getting the hell beat out of him. She like out of nowhere, she like goes full like
absorbs all the rest of her, absorbs all of her stuff back.
She gets it all back. She fucking rips the town to shreds. Looks like she killed people. And so yeah, Tanjiro gets pissed off. He gets blood in his eye, and somehow when the blood hits his pupils, he goes Super Saiyan. And so here we are. We got Tanjiro. He loses it. He goes nuts. And yeah. So do you want to talk about that? I mean, the fight between him and Daki was really good. I thought that they animated it really well. I thought, like, what this episode, to me, this episode was like, this is the Demon Slayer I've been waiting for. Not to say the past 5 episodes have been bad or not, like, interesting, but, like, I was waiting for this. I think Mugen Train spoiled us because they, like, cut right to the chase. They got right into the action. This is the action that I've been looking for. And so, yeah, so he's fighting Daki, and then he goes a little bit into his flashbacks with Rengoku's father. His Rengoku's father is now writing to him saying, "Hey, I acted out." I didn't expect him to admit this so quickly, but I guess it was over the span of 4 months. He's writing to Tanjiro. He notes that he thinks he's a chosen wielder for sun breathing, right? But as we find out with Tanjiro, thinking to himself, the scar he has on his head is not hereditary. He got that from protecting his brother, but his father's scar was hereditary. So, I think at this point we kind of assume that Tanjiro's father was a demon slayer and had like a lengthy past and like really, definitely has history with Muzan, right? Because if Daki is having memories of him and it's not hers, it's her master's, then it's, definitely at some point Tanjiro's father fought him. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think that's kind of already, it's kind of been hinted like to me a bit, like a lot over the slowly, especially more recently, they kind of been hinting out a lot more right in front of us,
Right. And so so that happens. Good little tidbits of information. The fighting continues. It looks like he almost takes her out, man. Like he goes for the slice.
Close.
He gets the Hinokami Kagura, I think it's called. He's able to complete it, right? He's close. He's about to slice that head off. I thought he did from the way they animated it, and then he stops because I think his sister, his brother or sister, one of them is like, get your breathing under control, and he starts breathing again, and he's gone past his limits, obviously,
way past.
And then guess who steps in? Guess
Nezuko.
who freaking steps in? Nezuko-chan. She comes in.
Oh my god.
Dude, when she did that, I was like, if this was in a theater right now, everyone would be going nuts because everyone fucking loves Nezuko. What did you make of her coming in, dude? That was fucking badass. I love that.
Oh yeah, I love how that was well. The only thing, it's surprisingly coming from me, but like at the end there, when she showed up like her grown-up form, it's like, whoa, now we're just showing Nezuko with big ass titties now? It's like, that's
dude, okay. Let's talk about that.
As much as I love my big ass titties, but like it just felt weird seeing Nezuko just like
did it
glow up like that. It's like,
yeah.
I guess I guess it's been a lot of years, but like it just felt weird. But like this doesn't feel right.
She gained tits, dude. There's no way that's how she looks all the time. This is her Super Saiyan form, okay? Definitely, she definitely grew those in the thick of the moment. Definitely,
Goku, he grows his hair. When he goes Super Saiyan, Nezuko grows her tits when he goes Super Saiyan. That's just
it works.
That's just how it works here. That's just how it works here. Okay,
don't question it. It just works, So no, there's no way that she looks like that normally because we've seen her normally, right? That's not not how she appears. So she definitely leveled up in a certain sense. Dude, you know what's funny is I see like figures for her all the time in that form with the like the grass sort of inking around her body. And I'd think to myself, these sick bastards that make these fucking figurines. Well, I guess I was wrong. I guess that's actually accurate to the canon. I guess that's actually accurate to what she looks like. It's not just the figurines that have the big tits. It's part of the story. So
yeah, it's canon. It's the canon one.
it's the canon version, you know. So I guess I can't be mad at the figurine artist now. So yeah,
Some people are probably mad.
Yeah, but
They
not us,
want
not
the little
us.
girl in Mexico. Yeah.
So yeah, she starts kicking Daki's ass, and yeah, and then Daki said something to the effect of like, "Oh, she's regenerating at a high rate, like a high level demon." So I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Ooh.
Just
Well,
to see her,
she destroyed her ass. Like it was like it
Yeah.
wasn't even a competition at near the end there.
it was so good to see Nezuko not just be a damsel in distress and not just help out every once in a while, but to actually be like a main part in a actual battle, an actual shonen battle in the series is like, that's great to see, you know, because a lot of times it's kind of like, you know, you have the MC, you have the supporting cast, you know, supporting cast gets caught up in something, then the MC goes and saves her or something like that. But here it's like
Nezuko comes in.
yeah, like they're actually utilizing Nezuko, and it's, you know, I bet some people will question, how is she this powerful? But you know, she is a demon, so it's not like her powers are coming from nowhere, right? It's not like she has no training. You know, she's superhuman strength now because of, you know, her form. So
Yeah,
I
so
thought
that's
it was
only it's
cool
like
to see.
questionable. Like, you know, to me, really, it's like,
Yeah.
I can see the Tanjiro getting the upgrade because, you know, his dad and all that stuff. Like, okay, I can see that. And then Nezuko is, you know, the same blood as well. So maybe, you know, because of the dad, you know,
Yeah.
so strong, maybe, you know, a lot of people, like, you know, some like real hardcore shonen people are gonna be like, you know, probably be mad. It's like, oh, this, you
Yeah,
know, BS
probably.
level up and all that. But like, you know, we're just have fun here. You know, this is not the real life science of like, oh, you know, she did 300,000 push-ups to get to this power. No, it's just demons or
Yeah.
dad. You know what? You know, we'll just wave it away like that. You know, some people are probably gonna be mad, but that's just kind of how it is. You know, with shonen sometimes.
Yeah, it's not so bad to where I'm like, oh, they lost me. You know, it's a shonen. I know to expect this, you know, and it's really, if anything, it's just cool to see the female character sort of step up and save him. And, you know, because I thought that it was going to be Uzui and Inosuke and Zenitsu. Yeah, Zenitsu who come and save him, but no, fucking Nezuko saves him. Wow, didn't expect that. That's pretty badass. So yeah, and then the other three, they're on their way. Zenitsu is still sleeping. Inosuke opens his eyes up and he's like, I don't even know how you're doing this while you're sleeping, you know. So if you think about it, like plot wise, like not a lot kind of happened this episode, but what we did get was really spicy. What we did get was really juicy. You know what I mean?
Sakago was all there.
It's great. It's not the most filling steak, but damn, every bite you took was fucking juicy, you know? So, yeah, we get a little bit of, we get to see that Rengoku's father is now in touch with Tanjiro. We get to see Tanjiro's father a little bit more. We get to see, more, you know, heading towards the climax of the fight with Daki. I don't think Daki's going to be the main villain of this core. Someone else is going to step in here, or something else is going to happen. Maybe Michael Jackson will appear. I don't know who's going to appear, but someone's going to come in and because this fight ain't going to last another 5 or 6 episodes. No way. I'd say it lasts maybe another episode or so.
Yeah, I think so as well.
But man, like you said, the animation was beautiful here. This is the episode I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for this shit, man, and I finally got it. And I was so happy with this episode. So would you agree? Like probably the most high quality of everything we've gotten so far this season.
Yeah, I agree as well. I just have one side little thing to add on here. I just want to go on a slight little rant about this episode.
You're gonna rant about this episode. Okay, let's hear it. What is it, Germs? What are you pissed off about?
You know, I watch. I watch so much shonen. I watch a lot of garbage. You know, I've seen it all. You know, the lowest tier stuff. I've seen it. But one of my least favorite tropes of all time is the fucking chosen one. And fucking, they made Tanjiro it's like, oh, you know, from the beginning, his dad, he was actually this strong. It's like, oh, no, all of his hard work. Oh no, the door. It's because his dad, you know, gave him the fire style. Now that's how he's so OP when he needs that ass pull. It's like, I hate it so much when they do that. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
from the
it's
beginning, it's like I thought like it would like Deku was like, oh, you worked hard, and then got the one for all. The one for all then give him even more BS powers, but that's just that's a separate different thing. But Tanjiro is like, oh no, he was actually just a special kid from the get go with this extra power, and it's like. Like why couldn't you just say his hard work or his new training? It's like why gotta add this on now?
yeah. Let's
I'm
talk
just
about it. Let's talk about it. So he did say. So here's my understanding. Tell me where I'm wrong. He did say that his scar was self-inflicted. His father's scar was genetic, right? So his
Mhm.
father was gifted with the sun breathing. And so that you're saying that passes down genetically to Tanjiro, and that's why he has access to it, right?
Mhm. Because
That's true.
it was his scar was growing during the episode, and that's why when it grew, it went to his eyes.
I mean, this is kind of like Ichigo's. What I kept thinking throughout this episode is like this is kind of like Ichigo's father, right? Kind of situation. Yeah, Tanjiro, he can have access to it because of his father, but he was working on the Hinokami Kagura, right? He was training it, so. The way I perceived it was it's a little bit of a blend of both, but yeah, you're right. If his father didn't have
From
that
the
scar, then Tanjiro wouldn't have access to that
fire
ability, right?
style, yeah,
Yeah,
because
is that's correct?
because like he was like the water
Yeah,
style for so long, but when's the last time we saw a water style move of his normal style? Because he's just
yeah,
using the fire style now. He kind of just took it over.
yeah.
And then also, I guess you could have seen that from the get go when his sword was black and didn't have an element, But look at him now; he's using fire and water. Well, I'm
Yeah.
guessing he could still use water, but so then
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, yeah.
I should have kind of guessed that from the get go, since he did have the black special sword that just like with like I think in Black Clover because Asta doesn't have like he doesn't get a normal one. He's like, oh, why is my book black? It's like, oh, I don't know, he has something special. I think it's probably something
Oh my
similar to
god.
that.
Yeah, there's so many shonen tropes out there, man. They all get
Yeah,
fucking they all
it's
get
my least
reused.
it's my least favorite one. I'm not like not my love for the series hasn't gone down, but it's just like, oh, why you gotta do that? Like, why you gotta do that to me like that?
I don't think I hate it because I do know. Listen, in season 1 they showed his dad using the fire style a lot, like the dancing and shit. And we do know that he was training for the Hinokami Kagura and he sort of used it this episode, right? So it doesn't piss me off because he already was a demon slayer. He already was training hard. We got the training arc with him and guy with the mask. I don't remember his name, but so it's kind of like a half and half with me, right? Like he only has access to this because of his father, but he was a demon slayer already. He already had a water style mastered under his belt. He already was working hard to achieve it. He just it's kind of like I can't really think of a good scenario. It's like DLC, but you don't just get the DLC. You gotta beat the level and then you can unlock the costume. You know what I mean? It's not like they just gave you the costume. You kind of paid for it, but okay, now that you paid for it, beat this level and then you get the costume. It's kind of like that for me. It's like a hybrid for me. So it doesn't piss me off as much, but yeah, I could see
Yeah,
that complaint.
yeah, because
If you hate
he
this,
did train, but yeah, yeah.
if you hate this, I like Boku no Heroes is way fucking worse. The whole
Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah.
pulling those moves out of out of the ass with all the previous users. That one should really piss you off if you hate this one. So, and it did. So I understand where you're coming from, but yeah, I thought it was an enjoyable episode and
Yeah,
best
I
of the
agree as
season
well.
yet. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so as
All right.
well.
So the weebs out there.
I didn't expect this week to see Nezuko with big titties. I didn't expect that. And I'm
Dude,
not mad,
I don't.
but it was just,
I don't think nobody expected it. The weebs out there didn't expect it, but it happened. Okay, it happened. I've seen it in the figurines, but I didn't. I just thought that was what is it called? Not
bootleg.
no, stuff for the fans. Shit that
Fan
pisses
service.
people off. Fan service. I just thought it was fan service. I just thought it was, disgusting perverts making that shit. No, I guess it's in the story. So, yeah, the weebs out there, comment down below. Let us know what you make of this week's episode of Demon Slayer. Shit is getting good. Shit is getting hot and spicy. All right, and with that, we're gonna get to our final show on the roundup. This one is the new one alongside Attack on Titan. Curious, I'm extremely curious to see what you have to say about this one. We're gonna move away from shonen for My Dress Up Darling, episode 1. This is kind of hard to tell, like a slice of life rom-com-ish vibes I get from it. We'll have to see how it works out, but definitely different vibes from the two shonen that we've talked about. What did you make of this first episode of Dress Up Darling?
Yeah, I think it was a really nice and wholesome show. I kind of expected the kind of vibes thing just from like the, because like just how he looks and how he's like, oh, I like making dolls and stuff. Kind of a loner kind of guy, doesn't have any friends, or if any. Like, okay, there's no like bullying, nothing crazy. He's just kind of just like a loner, just in the corner. So luckily, there's nothing worried about. Like, there's no one bullying him for making dolls. No one bullying him anyway. That's nice. It's just like a normal kind of situation here. But the waifu material, man. That, and I saw, especially that OP as well, is a very high chance with this one. I love her character so much.
Very high chance. I think a lot of people are going to love her character.
Just like her bubbliness and.
Make a cut real quick. Are you fumbling with your mouse right now?
No.
Oh, I'm just hearing a clicking noise. That's not your mouse? Not the keyboard? Okay. This is probably just the Discord stream then. I swear I could have swore that was like your mouse or something. Okay.
No, my hands are just right
okay.
Here.
Cut back in. What were you saying? Waifu material?
Yeah. And I think where to start off from there.
Here, I'll pick it up. Yeah, I think a lot of people are really going to love her character. And, okay, so that's a good response. Not the response I wanted, though, Germs. Not the response I wanted. I'll tell you what I thought of this shit. I thought this was fucking beautiful. I loved this first episode. This is like one of the better first episodes in an anime I've seen. Okay, here I am. I'm gonna fanboy
Recreate
over Cloverworks again. But I gotta say, man, this reminds me of Horimiya, like setting wise, and Kids on the Slope, like drawing wise, like the way the characters, their facial features, like somehow that reminds me of like a Kids on the Slope type of vibe. And then Horimiya, the wholesomeness, the school setting, the blushing, all that. This was germs. This was so good. This was so good. This and you didn't touch on something that it's a shame that you didn't touch on. The OST. The music in this episode, I don't know if you didn't have your headphones on or what, but the music in this episode was 11 out of 10. I think there was an orchestra for almost every scene, and there was rising action and falling action that fit the scenes perfectly. They fit the moments perfectly. The emotion, I mean, they just captured so much emotion in this episode. I don't know who the fuck Gojo, this guy is, Kitagawa, this girl is. I know she's hot, but I don't know who these people are. And in one episode, they got me to care for these characters and to empathize with them. And I gotta say, man, I'm really happy that we're watching this season. And for all the Cloverworks haters out there, hey, we can't count our eggs before they hatch, right? So I'm not saying the animation won't go to shit. I'm not saying they won't do this one dirty. But this first episode was fucking phenomenal. This was incredible. You cannot change that. And the music, my friend. The whole episode, like, this has one of the better soundtracks in any anime I've watched in probably years. I mean, go back and listen to the music on this shit. They had so many little bits and sounds that just, the whole thing was great. You know how in anime they overuse a lot of tracks, right? And that's fine. By the end of the show, you have them kind of memorized and they sort of belong to that experience. There is so much they have to work with within just this one episode that I will never get bored of this shit. They could give me 100 episodes of this, and every time I hear the music, I'm like, damn, this is like fantastic. This is shit that you would listen to on your own. And it fit the scenes, and it worked really well. And I thought it was a great first episode. I thought it was really good. Should we talk about the actual content of the episode, though?
Yeah.
Before we get too lost.
Sounds good.
Okay, so Gojo is a, I guess, what's the Japanese term for? I don't know. He's like a doll artist,
maker,
right? Doll maker. What, you got us Americans talking about it over here. Okay, we don't remember the terms, but he makes dolls. He lives with his grandpa, I think.
Grandpa. And
they live in sort of a more traditional style house, right? So That's what he does. That's what he likes. That's his passion. And whenever you have a character with a lot of passion, that's great, right? You want an active character, not a passive character. You want someone who really, he's sort of shy and awkward, but he does have his goals and ambitions, and he really likes the art that he does, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one quote, the dialogue was great too. Everything about the episode was great, Terms, everything. But the dialogue was great because he and I'm going to butcher it, but basically to the effect of, here's this girl and she lives in a different world than me, right? She is an anime fan and but she's popular and she gets to just, openly not give a fuck what people think. And here he is, he has his own passion, but, he kind of hides it.
He doesn't express it, yeah.
He doesn't express it, and so she bumps into his desk. They have a cute little moment there. I thought that they would have used the tried and true trope of, her falling in his lap or some shit like that. No, none of that. It was,
It's
kind
her head
of
on
like
the table.
Yeah, like you're expecting it to go one way, and then it's like, okay, they didn't do that. That's nice. They subverted expectations a little bit. You get to see a little bit of her personality as she talks with her girlfriends. And so his sewing machine breaks while he's making a dress for a doll. He goes to the this room that has sewing machines, home ec, and they don't have a home ec at his school, so it's kind of a useless room. No one's using it, so he thinks. He starts, doing his own design, and then in walks Kitagawa, Marin Kitagawa, and he's flustered. They could have, they really could have made that scene very comedic and funny and awkward, but it was just enough awkward because there was also that emotional side to it. I think that it was balanced perfectly. She just says, "That's so fucking cool. Can you make my shit for me?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess so." She takes off her clothes. He sees that she's cosplaying as someone.
She's like, look away. He's like,
look away.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Okay, look back now."
Some spicy booty shots today. I didn't expect to see some.
Some spicy booty shots in there as she's walking and stuff like that. Believe me, we all saw those. And so yeah, and she's like, "You can look now." And he's like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then she's got
his ham.
Her outfit.
What are you even doing here? The tolerance is like. He going to his nerd zone. I love seeing those moments. You can see the passion.
That's what I'm saying. He's not just a wimpy MC. He's kind of wimpy, but he has a passion. He's not like most MCs who are just like whatever. They're all the same.
He was mad at her for the whatever she did, and he's like, "Oh, this song, this is garbage." How could you do this?
Exactly. I like seeing that passion behind the character. And I'll quit talking now. What did you make of the plot of the episode? And what do you make of the series so far?
Yeah, I think it's a good setup. We got her motivations why she loves cosplaying. She loves her character. I love the ending there, where she's like, "Oh, this character from super long light novel title thing." And he's like, "Huh?" And then, as a non-anime fan, he's probably like, "What did you just say? You said like a whole sentence. Where's the title?"
Yep.
But I love those little moments. There's something just fun, nice little moments like that. It's just chock full with them. I love these characters so much just from the get-go, man. I can't even begin to imagine. And this is without them knowing each other. There's no blushing between the... I don't even want to know what happens.
It's going to build to... it's going to build to that.
I don't even know. It's going to be so good, man. It's going to be so good. It's going to be
so good. This, and I hope it's like a Nagatoro style show where the cast is really small. Like just him and her.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Maybe just a couple of her friends. Maybe they go to expos and she shows off her cosplay and like they meet like some like cosplayers and stuff like that. But like keep it tight, keep it to him and her, and keep up the drama and the romance, the brewing romance between them. This
like a competition for like a cosplay competition. Like be best cosplay.
They're gonna do that. Oh yeah, they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. This really is gonna be the next Horimiya, the next slice of life. Could be like a Kobayashi type of beloved show. I don't want to hype it up too much, but man, I just want to say the first episode was phenomenal. The music was phenomenal, and I couldn't have asked for anything more. I mean, I kind of started thinking, all right, time to go into this one blind, and I exited the episode thinking, I'm sold. You don't have to sell me
Mhm.
anymore. I'm sold. I'm here for the ride, you know? So
Yeah, it's a really good first episode. Like, someone watches like, oh, I don't like, I don't like these characters. I don't like this premise. Like, okay, well, that's it. You
probably
saw
not
one
for you.
episode, and that's it. You don't need to worry about
Yeah.
it. But if you've seen this first episode and you want more, I think that's what they're gonna give us. Obviously we don't haven't read it or anything, but just from how beautiful this first episode was, it's like this is what we're gonna be getting, and it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I
Hopefully.
think this is a good representation of the series as an anime only. I haven't seen any of it, but this is probably, it's got all the ingredients. It has everything laid out. This is what the show is going to be about. Man, I just want to say the animation top tier. Cloverworks, please. I'm begging you, please. Let's
Don't do
not
it to
go
us
down.
again.
Don't do us a Promised Neverland. Don't do us a Wonder Egg. I'm just asking, please. This is so good. They have 3 shows coming out this season. From what I've read, this is the one that has the best animation. So if you guys have to put any of them to the toilet, fucking take the other 2, put them in the trash, take them out the side, shoot them, get rid of them. Don't sacrifice this one. This is the one that we're asking you not to sacrifice. If there's one that you keep the quality up for, please don't short staff this one. This is the one that you need to keep sacred.
Well, I've heard the other 2 are pretty good as well.
I've heard that too, but I heard that
Yeah.
they didn't have as good production as this one. They had good. I hear that they had good production, but this had the highest quality of production. So
Yeah.
please,
Cloverworks.
please, we're begging you. We're not even asking. We're begging you. So, all right, Weebs, for all of you out there who have seen My Dress Up Darling's first episode, comment down below. We'd love to hear what you guys think of it, and are you excited for the series like we are? So yeah, that is our first weekly roundup of 2022. It's finally over. We no longer have to talk about that for our first episode back. And guess what? We do have to talk about though. Our winner of the week. With that, I pass the baton over to you, Germs. What is your winner of the week?
Man, this is a hard one, man. The past
It
little while, it's like, okay, there's one, maybe 2 choice, maybe two if it was a good week. But this one's like, they're all good, man. They all could be the winner. They're all so good. It's like, but what like, it's like, what do I want? Do I love a burger my favorite, or is pizza my favorite, or or a poke or something? It's like they're all good, but I
It's
gotta
just the
pick one,
mood.
unfortunately.
Whatever you're in the mood for. They're all top. They're all 5-star quality. So it's really just what
Can't
you
go
enjoyed
wrong.
most this week. Yeah, you can't go
Yeah.
wrong with any of these. No matter what you say, I won't think that you're crazy. There's some weeks where I'm like, he's crazy if he fucking picks this one. But this one is not. It's not one of those. So.
Yeah, but I was gonna go off of the instinctual just feel of how like the episode just melted away, and that's Attack on Titan. Like I legit just blinked and it was over. The other 2 I didn't look at the timing on it all, but just Attack on Titan, I was so immersed, so just lost in the show that I was like, it's over, and it's like, oh man, I felt like I just started.
Yeah,
So
that's always the deal with Attack on Titan.
So that's mine right there. What about you?
I'll piss people off, but I listen. Attack on Demon Slayer. The other 2 are better than Demon Slayer for me. And Demon Slayer is already a 10 out of 10 episode, but I'll piss people off and say Dress Up Darling just because with Attack on, but only because,
but not Megan. Yeah.
Yeah, only because, listen, if I were to judge the quality of the episode, I'd probably give it to Attack on Titan. But remember, this is all subjective to us, right? So I'm going into Dress Up Darling blind. I know what Attack on Titan's kind of going to give me. It's going to give me that masterpiece goodness. You know what I mean? That fantasy, very involved type of story. And it was a great, great first episode for part 2. But I didn't know what I was getting with Dress Up Darling. I mean, you go off the trailer, you go off what you read online, but you don't know if it's actually going to be good. It's Cloverworks. They're shoddy. You don't know what you're actually walking into. It could just be a decent time, not a great time. And not only was it a great time, it exceeded that. I mean, it was a fantastic time. So that's the only reason I give it to Dress Up Darling. If I get used to that from Dress Up Darling, I think I might start leaning towards Attack on Titan, but I'm going to give it to Dress Up Darling this week just because
The shock.
it surprised the shock. Attack on Titan, I kind of expected to be a masterpiece. Dress Up Darling, I did not expect it to be that good. And even Demon Slayer, this week's episode of Demon Slayer was the best, and I thought it was the worst on this roundup. So that really goes to show you what shows we have here. I mean, this is some
big hitters
shit
here.
Yeah, man. And so fingers crossed, Weebs. If I get caught up on Rankings of Kings this week, that will be our 4th show for the roundup next week. And yeah, so that's the announcement there with Rankings of Kings, one that is carrying over from the fall season. So yeah, it's going to be our winners, Attack on Titan and Dress Up Darling. Comment down below, what was your winner of the week? Doesn't have to be from this list. It could be from the list of shows that you're watching that are currently airing. And with that, we're going to get into our discussion. Let's close out 2021 in a timely manner. So we have two graphics here from the Karma Reddit rankings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So first, we're going to discuss the best first episodes, the highest rated first episodes from last year. So
Yeah.
of all the shows, episode ones came out. What were the people most hyped about? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to switch over to what did the people actually pick as their anime of the year? You know, like what was the highest rated? What was the most popular for the year? So we're going to really encapsulate the year here, but let's start with the first impressions that the weebs out there had. So
we'll go from the bottom up.
Yeah, I'll let you lead the dance here, broski.
Yeah, so starting off with the bang for me, you know, but this is just first impressions, first episodes of what people thought, what people were watching right from the get-go. And seeing Vivi at 30 is surprising, yet not surprising for me at all. Because, you know, Vivi, no one expected Vivi to become how big it was as it eventually did. So seeing it so low is a little saddening to see, but because I know what's going to go on, it's probably in the next picture, you know, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and we will make a note for me, Germs. We're going to leave a card up here so that you can watch our, was it spring? I think it came out in the spring. Our very first, I think our very first episode video on the channel. And we didn't even talk about Vivi for our preseason special. It didn't even cross our minds. Radar. It was so low on the list. We didn't even really look into it or think about it. And yeah, we won't spoil anything, but let's just say Vivi's on the higher side for what people thought at the end of the year. So yeah, Vivi took the world by storm. Vivi, no one thought that this would be big, and people loved it. So yeah, that's Vivi.
Yeah, and then we have Jaya. I really enjoyed Jaya. It was like I forget how many episodes. Maybe it was like 16. Maybe it was 24. I forget how long.
I think it was two core.
Yeah,
I think it was two core. Yeah, so
it
went on
nice,
for a while.
Yeah, it was a nice kind of slice of life, kind of like it is basically like what was it called? The Demon King What was it called? The one that was having the second season soon.
Oh, Devil's a Part-Timer.
Yeah, this is basically like Devil's a Part-Timer, but female version. That's basically what this was.
Which is cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's not top tier, but you know, it's a nice little watch. Nice little watch.
It's doing its thing. It's doing its thing.
Yeah, and then girlfriend. that was a.
How the fuck did that make top 30? How the fuck? I just completed that recently because it was on my backlog forever. How the fuck did that make top 30? But okay.
Yeah, then we got
this
JoJo.
one baffles me. Hey, we got to talk about this one. Put the pause on. Put the kibosh on this shit, man. Hold on. JoJo at 27 is a crime. That should be against the law. But I think we know why.
Because it all came out. It all came out at once.
That Netflix release, man. JoJo Weekly is the way to go. That would have been so fun to talk about every week. The whole anime community would have been behind it. You know, because it's like stand of the week. You know, it's like villain. Yeah, it's like villain of the week. And the Netflix model is great for binging. It's great to get people. You know, oh, I can get the whole 12 episodes right now. I'll buy a subscription to Netflix for a week or for a month or whatever. But you don't get that constant hype that you're talking about, right? So it has its pros and cons, but if this came all this shit should have been way higher. But because of its release schedule, people aren't. I mean, even now, people aren't really talking about it. They watch all 12 at once, and that's it.
Yeah, you can be like, oh, what do you think about this? Like, it's like, oh, what do you think about the whole thing? You don't talk about each episode. It's like, oh, what do you think about the whole series so far at the moment? It makes sense why it's so low, unfortunately, but it's sad to see it. It's so sad to see it down here.
My favorite show on Netflix, Cobra Kai. Shout out to Cobra Kai. I wear the hat every week. I didn't wear it this week, but shout out to Cobra Kai. That's a Netflix show. It drops all at once. People talk about it for like the next week. After that, it's just forgotten about. And if they dropped episodes every week, that hype would be building, because they have like 10 episodes for that, right? So for 10 weeks, that'd be building, but they don't do it like that. Netflix has a very specific model of all at once, and that kind of hurts the hype, as we see here with JoJo. But yeah, that explains that.
Yeah, Tokyo Revengers. I was surprised. I didn't remember being that hyped. I think maybe eventually became like one of the
I
top shows, but it was a pretty slow season. I think that one, right?
I don't know, man. I thought it was pretty fucking hyped. The manga sales in Japan are phenomenal. It's sold like gangbusters in Japan. We went over that on the show, right? So maybe like it took a little while to get that following, you know. But I
Mm-hmm.
was hyped for it. You were hyped for it. So I don't know. That one's a little low to me, and I'm not the biggest Revengers fan. I think it's decent, but even me, I'm looking at that saying, really, Revengers that low? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, then we have Slime Diaries, the spinoff. Weird to
That's a
see, but
spinoff, right?
spinoff. So it's even higher than all these other
That
shows.
that makes sense for the spinoff to be that
Mm-hmm.
low. Doesn't make sense that
Mm-hmm.
it's above some of these, but it makes sense that it's that low.
Mm-hmm. Then we got Higeo, the a shaved one. I enjoyed it. It's surprised. I'm kind of surprised to even see it up here in the top 30s. I thought it was no one was really watching that, but maybe when it started, people were like, just like the shock factor of like I shaved and took a high school girl. It's like whoa, maybe that's what got people to like watch it a bunch. Seems weird to me being so high up here when there's so many other shows, but maybe and people were
I don't know.
interested
I've
in it.
heard people talk about Higehiro a lot, you know, so I don't know. Kind of seems low to me. This
Hmm.
one is interesting. Let's get into the next one. Demon Slayer. What happened to the king of anime right now? And it is. If you think of merch, if you think of movie sales, if you think of all that, there's no
Hmm.
doubt in anime and manga too, I guess. Shit. The king right now is Kimetsu no Yaiba. What the hell happened? What the hell happened, Germs?
Well, this is Mugen. This is the first episode of Mugen Train.
Yeah,
So
but still, and
a
it
new
was anime
episode.
original. But yeah, I guess people just. I mean, I guess everyone saw the movie. I guess the whole world saw the movie. No one wants to see that shit, right? It
Hmm.
still baffles me that people aren't hyped for Demon Slayer, even if it's a repeat. Like, it's fucking Demon Slayer. But okay, I get it. It's a recap, you know.
Yeah, I'm. Then there's another one I'm surprised to see. Some better. So I enjoyed it. It's
Me
really, this
too.
is a weird. This is a 3D. So this is a very high to see a 3D show be up so high.
Yep.
Honestly,
Yep.
I'm really surprised to see such a 3D show being so high. But this next one, I'm surprised yet. Not I would expect this one to be like mid
Mid
teens, but
teens. Mid teens. Yeah,
I
mid
expect
teens, I'd say.
quintessential toplets. Yeah, so many people talk about the waifu factor. There's only like 6 characters and five of them are waifus. So it's
Exactly.
like I expect this to be a little bit higher, but maybe it's season 2. Maybe not that many people are into it. Maybe the people that are already watching are the people that are the audience are already looking for. But for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
right here, ready to go to the next one. Wonder Egg. I'm surprised, yet not surprised. 'Cause I think I thought from the get go people were talking about this
Me
right from
too.
the get. I thought this
Me
would be like
too.
in the top 10 of the year because
Me too.
this is
Because
this.
remember, people were looking at the trailer and saying, this looks unique. This looks interesting. This looks different. All the big Annie-tubers out there, all the big anime YouTube channels, were talking about this one. And yeah, it has a bad rap now, but this is when the first episode came out, you know? So I know we're biased because we loved it, but a 20 seems low to me. 20 seems low to
Yeah.
me. At least mid-teens. At least. People were talking about Wonder Egg, man, you know?
Because like these next few shows, like except for one, but uh, let's go look at 19 because laid back Euro Camp season 2, like that kind of just came out, and I didn't even think I forgot that even came out. Kind of just came out and like, oh yeah, it's there. And then
When did season 1 come out? Like
2 years
season 1 came
ago,
out years ago, right? That
like
came out years ago. A sequel comes out and more people are hyped about that episode 1 than Wonder Egg. That it just seems off to me. Like
it's because
pe-
yeah, I don't remember
people were talking about
anyone
Wonder
talking
Egg.
about it. Yeah, it
Same.
just feels weird.
Same.
Feels weird. But maybe just
All right, 18.
yeah, so now it's 18. Mirko-chan. I hear like no one talking about Mirko-chan. I personally love it. I recommend it to people who were talking about the season, but
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's so high. Maybe people were the literal shock factor of a horror anime. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why it's up so high here because
I hear it.
yeah.
I hear it, but it's not like, it's shocking that it's as high as it is.
Hmm. And this one, everyone was talking about last
Everyone.
season. Act
Fucking
OP,
everyone.
man. Everyone was, and their mother was talking about this. I was surprised. I'm surprised it's not higher than even this. I thought this would be like low teens, not the
Yeah.
higher ones here. But that's just how it be. I'm really surprised to see My Hero Academia here at 16.
I am too. Nobody was talking about this shit. Nobody. You're
This one
telling me.
especially.
You're telling me that Wonder Egg was less popular. You're telling me that Demon Slayer was less popular. You're telling me that Revenger's first episode was less popular. You're telling me that Quintuplet's first episode was less popular. I know it's academia, and not to shit on it because we've maybe done that a little bit too much on this channel, but nobody was talking about this 5th season. Nobody. It's one of those shows where you have, if you haven't seen it yet, you're not interested because it has too many episodes, and if you are caught up to it, you know that this arc probably isn't going to be the best, right? Like a lot of manga readers out there. So nobody was talking about it, and here it is, beating out all these shows I would not have expected it to. So interesting.
This one's not. I feel like this is like a perfect where it should be. I feel like Jobless being at 15, like it wasn't super popular in the get go, but as people kind of like got like, not you because you already told you to watch it, but like other people that were like, an actual good isekai. It's like, oh, okay. I think this first week is like, okay, people are watching it, but like not like gangbusters amount,
Yeah, if I didn't, what's funny? No, I am a good example, Germs, because I wasn't watching it initially. And you told me to watch it. Isn't that correct? I wasn't, because it came out in the...
January.
It
I
came
told you
out
after.
in the winter. It came out in the winter. I remember we were working out. You told me I had to watch Mushoku Tensei and I think Horimiya. And then I started those immediately. You're like, these are must-watches. So I am that example. I am a guy who said, isekai, not for me. And then you said, no, you have to watch it. Our friendship is on the line. You either watch this shit or I never talk to you again. Okay, Germs. Okay, I'll watch it, I guess. And so yeah, I think there's a lot of people like me. That seems exactly where it should be. A lot of people were talking about it. But
not like not one of the top of the year,
Exactly, like mid. That's exactly where it should be. I think me and you both agree with that. And over the weeks, it rose and rose and rose. And as you'll see when we get to the second half of this discussion, a lot more popular by the end. But yeah, I think that's probably where it should be. Makes sense to me,
Yeah, and this one as well. This one kind of surprised me a little bit.
Me too.
But not at the same time with Promised Neverland being so high. Because the first season was...
Episode 1, yeah, that makes sense. By episode 4, everyone was like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Everyone was already spooking.
I was spooking at the first episode. I'm like, "This is going way too quick. What the hell?" By episode 4, that's not at 14 anymore. No way. By episode 4, that's more like negative, a billion. It's not on. It doesn't register. Okay, it's not even that important. But I guess that kind of makes sense to me.
This one really surprised me, but not at the same time. Idol fans, people they go hard. So
they go hard. Zombieland Saga.
So seeing Zombieland, I think I don't think it was good as the first season, honestly. But that's later on. That's not episode 1. So it's like, okay, I can see it being popular right from the get go. That makes sense to me. But luckily, for this next one here, now we get to see kind of where Demon Slayer actually lies. Now we're seeing the actual Demon Slayer new stuff here. Seeing it a lot higher, not as high as I expected it to be, but maybe the anime fans aren't as many as the manga fans, So
yeah, and remember, this is the first episode of these shows. So this came out for Demon Slayer. This data is like 5 weeks old now, so this is recent. So that's a good indication of sort of where Demon Slayer is at. People are watching it, but not crazy numbers. Not crazy numbers,
Maybe once a certain episode hits, like, episode 19 of season 1.
Season 1, yeah.
So, this is probably just normal for Demon Slayer. Because, episode 19 was such a legendary episode that, like, okay, not every episode of Demon Slayer was doing gangbusters, but it's respectable. It's a lot higher than a lot of these other good shows.
You know what I didn't think about? I bet a lot of the American audience that watched season 1, maybe on like Hulu or something like that, or Crunchyroll or like one of those, if they haven't seen Mugen Train, because we went to the theater, right? But we're like weebs. We're like the hardcores. I'm thinking of all the casual fans. If they haven't seen Mugen Train yet, they can't watch this latest season. So that might be hindering some of the Western audience. I didn't think of that. You know what I mean?
Eventually, people will probably be a lot of people that watch it. But right now, like every week, there's probably not as many. They're casual.
Yeah, I bet
they're not waking up every week and be like, "Oh, it's Sunday. It's time for a new episode of Demon Slayer." They're like, They're normal people.
They don't live in their parents' basements like we do, right? Yeah. I think that's right on the money. I think a lot of people are probably looking at this season and the casuals, not the weebs like us. But
Yeah,
I think they
or
think
it's also on Reddit as well, so not
true.
everyone
Yeah.
as well. So it's,
So I think they're thinking, okay, I need to see the movie. Didn't see the movie yet. I'll wait till this is all done and catch up one day. So that probably makes sense to me. That probably makes sense
mm,
to me.
mm. This is a not. I think it's like this is a pretty good fitting one as well right here.
I
Kobayashi.
surprises me. Surprises me.
Well,
I didn't see a lot of people talking about it. I'm happy it's 11. I'm
yeah.
happy I'm surprised in a good way. I thought that this would be mid-teens cuz it's Kobayashi and not a lot of people talk like, the people that watched it loved it. The
Mm.
Queen, Kobayashi, I love this fucking show. But I didn't feel like a lot of people talked about it. It also came out in summer. Summer is the dead season of anime, right?
Yeah, so
So
I'm pretty happy with this one here.
I'm happy with it. I'm actually surprised that it's this high. I'm happy that it's this high, but I'm surprised. I felt like it'd be lower because not a lot of people talked about it. But that it's a dead season. That makes sense.
Hmm. And then as we get to the tens now, it's a nice gradual increase. Like before, like there was like maybe a little bit more of a jump.
Yeah,
I guess it's kind of been gradual. Never mind. I thought it'd be kind of like big jumps as we get to the higher ones, but no, it's kind of going up net casually.
yeah.
Next we got Slime season 2. People love the first season, so I'm not surprised to see this once the second season start. People were already top 10 show of the year, so that's
Ready
surprising
to
to me.
ready to hear something that you wouldn't have expected from me as a non-isekai, non-slime fan. I thought that this one would have been higher, dude. 10 is good, but I thought this would have been like 6, 7, maybe even crack the top 5. People love slime. People like slime is one of the big hitters.
Well,
It's not like
you can see it's number 10 and 8.
oh yeah, true. Yeah, so that does go to show you it occupies 2 spots in the top 10. So yeah, and season 2 part 1 is going to be a little bit less viewed because not everyone
as many
hops
fans.
on it right away, and then it gives more people to catch up. And then when part 2 comes out,
There's
they're
more
already caught
people.
up at that point. So that makes sense. But yeah, people love slime. People love slime.
Hmm. Yeah, number 9 here we got Dr. Stone. I'm kind of surprised a bit, but I think
Me
I think
too.
I remember as we were seeing throughout the seasons, Dr. Stone was kind of pretty highly rated throughout the whole season. So maybe other there's
Was
more.
it?
Yeah, I think so.
This season 2 is
That,
highly rated?
yeah, within the season, it was one of the top shows of the season.
Interesting. I would not
Hmm.
have expected that at all.
Hmm.
I thought it was okay. We kind of were lukewarm on it. It was okay, but I don't know. Were people really
Surprising to see so many people.
Yeah, were people talking about Dr. Stone this year? I mean, they were talking about it when it first came out, but I don't feel like people were talking about it this year. But hey, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not saying I know the entire internet. I'm just saying I didn't see a lot of people talking about it. So kind of surprises me. Kind of surprises
Hmm.
me. And then
Now this
slime
one's
again.
Slime again, and then this one doesn't surprise me in any single bit. If it was
It's your
season
number
1,
one. It's your number one. So I'm surprised that that's disrespectful to Jeremy here. It's got to be number 1 for him. But yeah,
yeah,
season 2 of 86.
season 2, 86. Yeah. Oh, okay, there it is. I on my thing I didn't see is the part. I was like, "Where's season 1?" Like, was season 1 on ranked? But number 4. So,
She up there. She up there.
but well, it looks like it went down with the second season. So,
Okay, ready for my take? I feel like it should have went down way more. Not because I'm like, I wasn't the hottest on it, but because a lot of people were talking about the first part, right? Is a lot of people talking about 86 right now? Not really. I mean, I guess it'd be like mid-teens, maybe even like lower teens. Like, is anyone really watching the second season right now? Like big, like tons of people watching the second season. I don't know. They definitely watched the first season. Okay, we did. We reviewed it every week.
we
But the
heard
second
it.
season, I mean,
We heard them. They came to us.
yeah, they came to us. They were talking to us, right? So, I don't know. I feel like this is way too high. I know. I don't mean to talk shit. I'm stealing your thunder here, Germs. I'm talking shit about 86 when that's supposed to be what you do. But I feel like that's high. I just feel like a lot more people were talking about the first part and not the second part. But what do you make of it?
Yeah, usually I expect the second season to be lower than the first season, unless it's like a high tier, like it only gets better. But with
Yeah.
86, it's like okay, And that's kind of what I expect. There's not as many people watch the second season as they watch the first season.
But
It's so much easier to watch a first season than a second season.
True, but slime is the exact opposite. Slime is the exact opposite, and I guess that goes to show. That goes to show you the quality of a show, right? I mean, if you do a good first part of a season, people will come back. If 86 people dropped off a little bit, so I guess that makes sense,
And this makes sense to me because the factor of Nagatoro, she up to here number 6. I thought maybe it'd be a little bit higher. Because you see that smug face, everyone on the internet saw that smug face. Everyone on r/manga has seen that smug face for years, and they're like, "Oh, it's finally here! It's finally here."
I would have said top 5, but 6 is right there. I'm not complaining. That makes sense to me. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm. Oh, now that I brought that point up, where's Komi at? No, Komi. We didn't even see Komi, right?
No
Komi. And that was this year because. Wow, that's interesting to see.
There's no way that's accurate.
No, we saw Demon Slayer Part 2, Season 2. So
I'm saying Komi's stats can't be factored. Komi would make this list somewhere in the top 30. There's no way that people weren't hyped about. We need to pull up the raw numbers for Komi now. We need to go back and find them because Komi would have made this shit. Okay, people have been talking about Komi. I'm surprised.
That's what I was thinking.
That doesn't make sense to me. That just dawned on you, huh? I didn't even think of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that doesn't feel
weird.
right, man. That doesn't feel right. But that's just what it is right now.
I guess. I mean, you think it's not an accident on their part? It's got to be an accident on their part, dude. There's no way that because Komi was one of the bigger hitters of last season.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. Weird. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. But I guess that's just how it is. I guess.
Maybe after this we'll look into it, see what the number is. I'm just very curious. It could be lower than these 30. It could be. I find it hard to believe. All right.
Yeah. So then next we have Jobless. Speaking of quality of a show, we got Jobless top 5, baby.
Makes the top 5. There we go.
So yeah, that's it.
I expected it there. That's good. That's a good spot for Jobless.
Okay, real quick, I pulled up Kobe's number. It got 3,000, and as we can see, our number 30 is 3,400.
Wow, so people weren't hyped about Komi's first episode, huh? You know what it was? Here's the thing. I didn't think of this. Netflix is 2 weeks behind if they were going to watch it on Netflix.
Oh, that's true.
And everyone was bitching about Netflix's translation. Remember that? That could have hurt its hype. So yeah, it was 2 weeks behind. We were on top of it. We're going on the dark web finding it illegally, but most people were waiting 2 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah,
I guess I didn't think of that.
That makes sense.
So yeah, Mushoku Tensei top 5 makes total sense to me. 86 at number 4.
So many anime-tubers were that first season. They're like, hey, got a lot more people that got interested in. Look, that's what happens here.
Right.
86 we talked about, and not surprisingly, honestly, when they hear was To Your Eternity, man. Like I remember, like right from the get go, people were going crazy about it.
They were. Listen, I
didn't expect it this level.
10. I didn't expect it this level. Top 10, yeah, it makes sense. People were talking about it. Top 5, top 3. This made the top 3 highest, most popular first episode. Like. People really gravitated towards this. I think it had to do with like the music and the trailer because they had a really good trailer for the show, and people saw it and thought to themselves, "This is unique. This is different." And it was. I dropped it. Sorry, don't kill me. Don't come for me with pitchforks. Okay, don't come for me. Okay. I
have a feeling looking at whatever the chart, it's not going to be a good looking chart. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think people are going to stay on that. Did you finish it, by the way?
Yeah. It was okay.
Did it? For you, it kind of declined a little bit there.
Yeah, it definitely did. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Looking at the numbers, I pulled up the website, the animekarma.com. It looks like it didn't fall. It didn't fall off that much, but surprising. I thought it would have dropped off more, especially how long it was, being 20 episodes.
Yeah,
but Surprising, yet not surprising at all, honestly, is these next two, Horimiya and ReZero. Those
You're
were
crazy to say that. You're crazy to
what?
say that.
What?
Not
Not
ReZero.
ReZero. ReZero, yeah. Yeah, that one
ReZero
we
makes
can
sense. We could put that aside. I didn't watch it. Well, I actually did finish it. Horimiya, really, dude? Really? Listen, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was fine. But number two, really? More people are more hyped for 86 and To Your Eternity than fucking Horimiya. I don't know. That one shocks me. I would expect Horimiya to be like, honestly, like mid-teens, dude. I wouldn't even think it'd break the top 10. But again, I'm looking back on it, and I think it kind of fizzled out a little bit. I think it wasn't Episode 1 makes sense. I don't know. I just didn't remember that many people super hyped about it. But but what you were saying, it makes perfect sense to you. You thought that would crack the top 3.
Yeah, I imagine as a season, once we see the overall season, we're gonna see a lot of shows that.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be very different. There's a lot of different changes here, but
you know what's funny too?
From
I didn't think about
purely
this.
first episode, Horimiya was pretty makes sense to me.
I didn't think about this. The manga's huge. The manga has sold really well, and it's been out for years. And
yep,
they had a previous attempt at Horimiya, like an OVA. So this is, they're like readapting it for this anime. That makes sense. There's a lot of manga readers. I kind of get it. Top 3 still seems high to me, but hey, that's what the people have spoken. That's what the people were hyped about.
Yeah, I think once we go to this next half, we're really gonna see a lot more of people's opinions, because this is just first episode, so a lot of these are gonna change. Are you ready to
let's start? Yeah, let's start with popularity. And so this is going to be, so those are the first episodes, the most popular first episodes, all basically the bandwagons of 2021, right? The shows that people were bandwagoning. Let's see where the shows actually ended up in terms of their popularity. So we see where they began with their popularity. Now we're going to see where they end with their popularity. Yeah.
And then we'll do ratings at the end.
Then we will do, yeah, quick. Of course. We'll do the ratings, of course. So let's start with 20.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised with overall year seeing World's Finest Assassin from last season to be so high. Oh, high at 20 here.
20 is high. I mean, think of all the fucking anime that came out, dude. Hundreds and hundreds of shit. So 20 is high. 20 is high. I mean, if you even make this list, you're a big player in the anime sphere. So yeah, that surprises me too.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good, enjoyable show. I think I had a different little take on it, honestly, as a watcher, but I didn't expect it to be top 20 of the year quality. No, but hey,
me neither.
Hey,
me neither.
Then, not surprising to see Zombieland Revenge, idol show. People love that, so the fans are always gonna be there. So not surprising to see that at 19.
They came out to support.
Mirko-chan, kind of not surprising to see it at 18 here. Not that many people were talking about it overall. I think it was a pretty good show throughout the whole time, but that's just how it be.
Did that drop off? What was the original? Because I want to constantly compare to the original. So where is Mirko-chan's first episode? 18? This is 18. It literally stayed at the same ranking. Okay. So that's kind of where that one went.
Then Higeho, the I Shaved one, I think it was a pretty nice little show. So
yeah,
probably around the same level. I think I would probably swap them if I had the choice. But this is popularity. This is not off a ranking.
Higehiro jumped up from 24 to 17. So Higehiro went up. So that and that makes sense. A lot of people were talking about it, so that makes sense to me.
Now this is what I was expecting here in terms of all the anime. Seeing Boku no Hero at number 16 overall of the year makes total sense to me. Like it's no longer a top show, top hitter, Nope. Maybe for some shonen, but not in all anime.
Not in all anime, unfortunately. The debut episode was 16. This
oh my God.
This it stayed the same, just like Mirko-chan, man. So yeah, that goes to show you what's up with Boku no Hero. Boku no Hero, unfortunately, is already surpassed by Demon Slayer. Attack on Titan will do better than it. Jujutsu Kaisen's going to do better than it. Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm telling you right now, when Jujutsu Kaisen's second season comes out, that will be wildly more popular than Boku no Hero's 6th season. Chainsaw Man's going to be more popular than it. So not to bag on Boku no
Spike's
Hero,
Family.
but yeah, that's a shonen, right? I don't know
A
much
little
about that
bit,
one.
yeah. But I'm not
I'm
shonen.
thinking more
I guess not. Yeah, I guess not shonen.
I'm thinking action
yeah.
shonen. I'm thinking action shonen, like the casual audience. But
yeah,
5 seasons in, it's not the same. It's not the same, right?
Not gonna be as many people.
Yep.
A little sad to see Kobayashi down at 15.
Yeah,
a little sad to see.
Fell 4 spots, but hey, we're top 15. This is after 3 years. I think it was 3 years difference between the first season and the second season. I'm just happy that Kyoto Animation gets the recognition that they deserve and that it's still somewhere near the top. I'm not, it's not like season 1 came out last year and season 2 came out this year. And, there's some time in between there. A lot of new anime fans that haven't seen the first season. I hadn't seen the first season. I had to go back and watch it. So, okay. I mean, I'm just happy that it at least cracks the top 15,
Yeah, then we got quintuplets here. I expect that a little bit higher up, honestly, because everyone loves quintessential quintuplets, but
yeah,
that's where it lay.
Well, it rose from 21 to 12, so it definitely picked up steam. It picked up steam. Nagatoro 13 originally. Where was Nagatoro 6? I think me and you both know why people dropped off. A lot of controversy with the show, but it didn't drop off a ton. It's not like it dropped
it's almost top 10
or something like that. It's still there. It's still there. But yeah, some people dropped off because the bullying and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see Song of Spiders still being up so high.
I know.
12. I enjoyed it. But as a 3D show, isekai, you think that would be tanking in terms of popularity, but hey, people are also cultured as well.
Well, it rose the fuck up from 22 to 12. It rose fucking 10 spots. So
it's good. I think it's good.
If you're saying it's good, that's what the people out there thought, Germs. That's the people agree with you.
Your Eternity, not surprising. It did fall off as the episodes went, especially being 20 episodes. There's probably not as many people in episode 20 than the first episode. So
that that's
the longer it is, if it cut off at episode 12, it would probably be top 10. But because there's 20 episodes to go off of, it's the averages is not going to do it justice.
It's why I dropped it. I only got a couple episodes in and was like, oh, 2 cores, not for me. So I guess I was like a lot of other people out there.
A little surprising, yeah, but not surprising. Top 10 Vivi in popularity.
Not surprising at all. Not surprising at all. It went from it rose 20 spots. I mean, people were talking about Vivi this year. This is a lot of people's anime of the year. Vivi is I haven't seen it. You've seen it though, Germs. So I don't know how you exactly feel about it, but you wouldn't be hard pressed to find anime fans that say, "Oh, Vivi, that was my anime of the year." People really rocked with this show. They really thought that this was the best thing to come out last year.
Yeah, I guess being top 10 in popularity over a whole year is a pretty good feat.
Pretty good.
Yeah, basically all of these are going to be respectable feats for over a whole year.
Oh yeah, and to rise 20 spots, I mean, there's no other show on this list that's going to do that. This is of every show to start low and end up high. Vivi is the highest is the most accomplished to do that. No other show rose as much as Vivi. It makes sense. We didn't talk about it, and here it is, people praising it.
Yeah. Then we have Dr. Stone here. Not a little surprising to see it in break the top 10, but hey, maybe people were just watching it. Little surprising.
Stayed at 9.
Surprising to see this not in the top 5. Honestly, Wonder Egg. That's surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 1 and I guess they added the special as well. So
they added the special. Come on, that's why it dropped. Why would you add the special? Pretend it doesn't exist, please. It doesn't exist. Let's it's Voldemort. Let's not bring it up anymore, okay, guys? It didn't happen.
And then we got Slime top 7. Not surprising. Would expect this top 5. Once we get to the top 5, then we'll see why they're top 5.
Real quick. That's taking both parts into consideration, right? So episodes 1 through 24. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. It makes sense.
It takes the whole show. So that makes perfect sense.
Just like with Wonder Egg. Just like with Wonder Egg, makes sense.
Just with 86 too. Took both episodes 1 through 21. because that's not technically finished yet, right? That's on hiatus, but
Yeah.
took the aggregate of those two, and that's at 6. Makes perfect sense to me. Now that we're getting towards like the upper echelon, these are starting to like, yeah, makes sense to me, you know?
Yeah, 86 I think number
Except-
6. That makes no sense.
Except
That makes sense.
Horimiya. Except Horimiya is the only one that I look at and I'm like, really? People are that hyped up about it? But everything else, Slime, Wonder Egg, 86, Kaizen, Jobless, all of these make sense to me. But Horimiya is just going to be the one that I don't get.
Started
people
off
love that
strong
much.
and then kind of, I guess it stayed strong-ish. Nothing compared to obviously these big boys here, but it's respectable.
Still top 5. Still top 5, you know? It didn't drop too much.
Then Jobless right here, this makes sense being top 4.
I'm happy with
especially
it.
It's especially since it's counting the whole first season, all 23 episodes here. So that's nice to see.
And real quick, before we continue, let's talk about this. Attack on Titan is counting 1 through 16. ReZero is only counting the second part of the second season, and Kaizen is only counting the second core of its season. So interesting, but to lose to Kaizen, ReZero, Attack on Titan, that's fine. That's fair. If Mushoku Tensei is going to lose to anything, those are 3 that I'm kind of fine with it losing to. You know what I mean? If it lost to like fucking Dr. Stone or Horimiya, I'd be like, what the fuck? This makes no sense. But those 3, Kaizen, ReZero, Attack on Titan, okay, those have massive fan bases. Does that make sense?
Yeah, huge fan bases. Just like there's not even a question. Like the jump from 4 to 3 is not a slight jump. That's a big jump from 7.5K to 10K.
It is. That's a sizable jump.
It's the big boy league is up here.
We're in the S tier. We just moved from the A tier to the S tier here. It looks like, not in quality, but in terms of the popularity. Because Mushoku Tensei is S tier. Don't get that twisted. But yeah. So Kaizen at 3. Interesting.
And ReZero, I'm still surprised every time that ReZero is always still so highly popular.
People love that shit, man. People love that shit. I still haven't ReZero. Can I talk about ReZero real quick because we keep bringing it up? So season 1, when I first attempted season 1, I couldn't get through it, man. I had to watch it twice to fully get through it. Then season 2 comes on. Still couldn't. I don't know what it is with this show, why it's so difficult for me to get through it, but everybody fucking loves it. And I thought the first season was good, like a solid 8 out of 10, not a 9 or 10, not like a masterpiece, but it was pretty good. So this is the one, man. This is the one that I like. Every time I'm reminded of ReZero, I'm like, fuck, I gotta watch that. I gotta finish that at some point, because it's number 2 for the whole year. The whole year. That's people are gonna have that as anime of their year, and on their list. So I gotta catch it. That should be at the top of my backlog at this point. ReZero, because it's so everyone loves it.
Yeah, I agree as well. So yeah, not too many surprises. Horimiya being so high up, still not surprising. It's surprising, but
Attack on Titan. Let's talk number 1. That makes sense to you, right? What's funny?
There's nothing to be said, really.
People early in the year were like, "Oh, that's anime of the year, huh?" I guess they weren't wrong.
Yeah, well, I guess we peaked in terms of popularity because it went from 10, 11, 8, 17. That's a big jump there. It's like it's like Attack on Titan's on a whole nother level than it's S plus. It's that special. You didn't even think you could get more than 100 on the test, but they did somehow.
Yep. Yeah, where was AOT on the first episode popularity? Because I don't see it. We didn't even talk about it, huh?
Well, because I think because this is just kind of the whole season. I think it was like it started in like 2020.
You know what? It started. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it started in 2020. Went over. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why Kaizen is not on that list too, because Kaizen technically started in 20. So yeah, Attack on Titan takes the crown for most popular anime last year, and it might take the crown.
And no one's surprised. No one's surprised.
To the surprise of nobody. And what's funny? It might take the crown this year, to be honest with you. I mean, there's some good stuff that'll come out this year, but it's Attack on Titan, man. And it's funny. It's going to be over. No more. We're in the final season. It's crazy. Well,
final season part 2.
Final season part 2. Let's get it correct. Yeah. Okay. Not this week. Next week, you should expect a special to come out. It's going to be called the Weeb Awards. That is our end of the year special, along with the Christmas special. We will leave it linked above. Give me a reminder for that, Germs. Make a note for me. So we shot a Christmas special at the end of the year where we opened up Weeb presents with each other, and also to conclude the year for 2021, we are going to be doing our awards. So some of the categories are going to be like best girl, best boy,
Best
obviously
OST.
best OST, best opening, best ending, best fight scene, best
Romance.
all of it. And then of course we'll get to worst anime of the year that we saw and best anime of the year that we saw. Obviously the list will be completely tailored to what we have seen. Germ's list will be a little bit more complete
Or
because
varied.
he goes throughout like the whole season, but even with him I'm sure there's stuff that he hasn't seen. With me, it's going to be a little bit more picky because I just haven't seen everything, not nearly as much as him.
Yeah,
So
the garbage, the worst shows on my thing
would
are
be worse than mine, probably.
way worse than what you've seen.
Probably. So it's going to be a fun list. It'll be tailored to us individually. So it's not like this is the official list. It's just, Germs and Mr. James's list of all the awards for 2021. So expect that to come out next week. That's going to be a blast to shoot. And when you see it hit your sub box, make sure to give it a like and share it to all your friends, share it to all the weebs out there. That's going to conclude our first episode for the new year. A hell of an episode, huh, Germs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of surprises, especially that last little part there. That like I was in upside down landing.
Yeah. All right, weebs, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you're a weeb like we are. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, give us a follow on there as well. And with that, we will see you all next week. We will see you for a normal episode and a special episode with the Weeb Awards. So, yes, all the hard work is for all of you weebs out there. Any comments or thumbs up, we really appreciate it. And if you're not subbed, again, like I just said, make sure to hit that sub. Anything else to leave the people off with, Germs?
Yeah, start thinking about what your favorites were the year of, or start putting them down here, or preparing for next week. Because there's going to be a lot of discussion on why we put shows so highly up on here.
Yeah, we're going to have some, I think it's going to be some interesting discussion that we're going to have, and we'd love for you guys to get in on it with us next week. So, yeah, that'll do it. Stay tuned for next week, and as always, Weebs out. Peace.